What a year it's been. I woke up this morning and told my partner I was coming to AGM, and she said, wow, just think of where you were last year and how much has changed since then. This time last year, when I was new to the role of CEO, it was clear that the organization was at a turning point. We knew it within the board. I think was grateful to be able to share it with many of you at national conference. But it was clear looking at our balance sheet that we weren't in a good place. But beyond that, it was clear that there was something deeper at issue. EWB has always been a community-based organization. People are at the heart of who we are. And a year ago, it was clear that as an organization, we were clearly fragmented. Our chapters across the country were operating in silos, many dormant, and those who were active were operating on their own without a tether to EWB and the national organization. Our alumni scattered across the country and around the world, the real embodiment of our impact as an organization, were disconnected from who we are. And so when I stepped in, it became clear that the first thing that needed to happen was to travel, to talk, but most importantly, to listen. And I'm grateful to so many of the people in this room who made time and space for me to hear your stories, to hear your journeys, to hear how EWB had impacted you, to hear the challenges that the past couple of years had posed, and to hear your views on what needed to change for us to not only get back to our core values and who we are, but to build anew for the times that we're in today, for the challenges that we see in ourselves and in our communities, and for the impact that we want to create as a community. The difference a year makes. You know, there's a saying that goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. And boy, I can tell you, we made damn good use of this crisis over the past year. Because when I look at where the organization is now, reflected by Exchange 2026 this past January, reflected by the people who are in the room, and reflected by the stories that I'm going to share in my presentation today, it's clear that our community is united and strong. And that is something that we can't take for granted. And so if last year was about rebuilding, re-engaging, and reimagining, I'm telling you that we rebuilt, we re-engaged, and we reimagined what the organization could be. And now we're at a point where we collectively are building the future of this organization. And so today I want to share a little bit of what the past year looked like and the journey that we went on, and then share a little bit about where we're going. And then I'll invite you to shape a part of that discussion when we get into our Q&A. A year ago, I put up this slide, which said, you know, in this moment of rebuilding, this is how we're going to do it, by re-engaging with our community, our alumni, our donors, our chapter members, our partners, and we're going to do it in a scrappy and energizing and engaging way, as one can only do when you're a little bit cash-strapped. And so we rebuilt, first starting with our chapter network. And this sample of pictures is just a fraction of the people, conversations, connections that I was able to make. Many of the folks here in these pictures you can see in the room, the U of T chapter there at the bottom middle, Max and Kieran over at Dal last November. So we toured the country, talking, listening to chapters, visiting 30 chapters in person, holding 4 virtual town halls, and reviving six chapters that were previously dormant and are now alive and kicking and well. Addie being a perfect example of that at Queen's and the amazing work that they're doing over there. Across the country, we listened, we heard where you are, and we brought you back into the fold. And you came and took that step yourself to now to the point that we have hundreds and hundreds of EWBers across the country reconnected to the organization, our mission, and our impact. We re-engaged alumni. I can't tell you, I think 50 is probably a conservative estimate of the number of phone calls and conversations that I had with different alumni, sharing where EWB impacted their lives and where they are today, and uncovering the true root of our impact as an organization over 25 years, which has been investing in people. And when the time came and we reached out to the alumni for help, they invested back in the organization. Last summer, when we were in the deepest of crunches, our alumni raised $100,000 to give EWB a fighting chance at continuing. And it's because of them, in large part, that we're here still today. And so our alumni are the embodiment of the impact that EWB has had over 25 years and critical to where we are going forward. We re-engaged our community and we re-engaged the world in the work that we do as EWB. And the perfect thing to exemplify this re-engagement is Exchange 2026. Who we'll see here in the room, not so much online, but I encourage you to do so as well. Who here was at Exchange this past January? What a phenomenal gathering of our community. The first in-person gathering in 5 or 6 years since before the COVID pandemic. There's a magic to EWB that you can't quite explain until you gather 200 of us in a room for a couple of days, get some amazing speakers, some workshops, give space for conversation and discussion, and let the rest run. And the things that have come out since then, the engagements with the chapters, the collaborations that have been happening, the conferences, the projects, the impact has been tremendous to see. And that was the kickstart of us getting back together as an organization. And so I'll run through a few things about Exchange and what made it so special. Looking at the numbers, over 200 of us from coast to coast, 26 chapters of our approximately 29, of which 6 of those revived chapters all showed up. We had 45 speakers across 2 days, alumni and distinguished folks alike. We had 43 people take part in the Baobab ceremony, the first Baobab ceremony that we've hosted in person since our last conference, and even virtually in a number of years. And we had our first international inductees into the Baobab Circle, Herbert and Gabriel, who are on our staff. And as well, reflecting the bilingual organization that we had, the University of Laval chapter showed up in spades, making up a large portion of this 22% of the folks who came who are bilingual. Conference was made possible through the support of a value-aligned partner organization, Schneider Electric Canada, who is the impact leading sponsor of our conference. Many of you got to speak with them at their booth. Many of you attended, a lot of you attended their session, which is one of the most attended of the conference. And we heard from one of their leaders, their VP of Industrial Automation, Hugo Lafontaine, on our panel on engineering an equitable and sustainable world. And I think highlighting Schneider Electric shows that we as EWB are engaging the entire engineering community and looking for value-aligned partners who are aligned with our work of creating an equitable and sustainable world, but also in investing in the next generation of leaders to do just that. And so we're excited and grateful for their support at Exchange this past year, and very excited for all the opportunities that are come this year and potentially in the years ahead as we deepen this relationship. The speakers that we had, be it MP Oliphant talking about Canada's Africa strategy, be it Katie Cresswell-Maynard from EWB International coming in from the UK to give us a perspective of the global EWB community that we're a part of. Jennifer Quagliata from Professional Engineers Ontario, Amber Morley, local politician here, or even Thomas Sinclair, who grounded us in a very, very moving acknowledgement of the land and insights from his own perspective as an Indigenous person. The range of speakers both speaks to the breadth and quality of the work that we do as EWB, but the power of our network and the power of our organization. talking about our alumni again. They came back not only over the summer, but then re-engaged at conference as well. Many as donors supporting folks to make their way there. Many as speakers, many coming to repledge in the Baobab ceremony. And a really special moment was when George and Parker joined us as well at the gala and shared stories in ways that only George and Parker could. Pride in ways that are, I guess, accustomed for an EWB CEO, and brought us back to the roots of who we are as an organization and how we were founded. Exchange was the beginning. But it wasn't the only way that we re-engaged in our work over the past year. For the entirety of our history, advocacy has been a core pillar of who we are at EWB. But over the years, we had lost our voice. But through the work of Grace, our advocacy DT, of which Ashna and Gabriel and many others are a part of, we came back with a bang, or really with a spark. Our Flip the Switch campaign advocated for Canada-Africa relations. And over the past year, boy, have we made an impact. It started in Calgary last year, where in partnership with the One campaign, we took over Stephen Avenue in downtown Calgary, talking to the government at the G7 about Canada-Africa relations and how the government should put Africa on the map as a priority as it seeks to diversify its trade. We made it onto CBC. Kevin made it onto Radio Canada. As you can see here, we made it into the local newspaper, really laying our mark, saying that EWB is back when it comes to advocacy. And what started as a moment in Calgary quickly spread across the country as our chapter members, all of you, took part in the Flip the Switch campaign. Be it in our social media call to action, calling on our Minister of Trade, Minister Sidhu, to prioritize and visit African countries as a part of his trade diversification efforts. Be it at Exchange with the postcard writing campaign, be it with the chapters who participated in our Flip the Switch case competition, and the many, many chapter members who've been talking to MPs over the past couple of months, spreading this message. Advocacy is truly back at EWB. And your voice is even more powerful now, connected to our entire national community. And we're excited for everything that's to come this year as we continue to build our advocacy and build on the Flip the Switch campaign. We're tying our work all together, advocating for access to energy infrastructure in Africa and strengthen partnerships between Canada and Africa while doing the work ourselves. Engineering Brighter Tomorrows was a program that was launched 2 years ago with the aim of providing access to energy in rural Zambia. Since the beginning of the program and over the past year or so, we've installed 2 solar systems and internet systems in the Chimpanje Rural Health Center and the Kanyena Primary School. The immediate impact is the 6,000 people in Chimpanje and the 350 young learners in Kanyena who now have access to electricity. But as our friends at the U Manitoba chapter said, who have also done their own solar project in Pakistan, that is not enough. We are not satisfied with those outputs as a function of our impact. EWB is rooted in systemic change. And the work we're doing now with Herbert and our partners EWB Zambia in Zambia is to transform EBT into a program that creates systems change within the private sector and renewable energy sector in Zambia to see how can we provide sustainable energy access to people who are currently left behind. We're really excited for the plans that we have coming up this year, not only to grow and expand the EBT program, but to continue to bring that work and the learnings to our chapter community to give you more opportunities to engage with the work that EWB Canada is doing overseas, and also bring some of that learnings over to our chapters to inform the work that we're doing. Finally, mining shared value. Probably the longest running initiative that we have within EWB at the moment, and the perfect exemplar of what systems change looks like in the realm of mining. Mining Shared Value has had a tremendous year and continuing to do the work of improving local procurement in mining operations in Canada and around the world. So just a few highlights of some of the works and the wins that they were doing over the past year. On the one aspect of their work around advocacy, changing standards and policy and doing research, they engage with key organizations like the IFC and the World Gold Council, doing studies to support them with improving understanding and improving local procurement within their own organizations. Their flagstone initiative, the local procurement reporting mechanism, is now due for a review, a revamp. And that's the core of the work that they've been doing in setting the standards for local procurement and spreading that across the mining sector. And they're working to update that now over the coming year. On the other side, they're doing direct advisory work with different mining companies all around the world to support them with implementing local procurement, be it Pan American Silver in Mexico, Pemex in Mexico, and Lundin Mining. They're providing tools, resources, and supports to help these companies change the way that they operate to make mining more sustainable through local procurement. And so we're excited to see the continued work that MSV will continue to do over the coming year. And now, Reimagined. Reflecting the times that we're in and the moment that we're in as EWB, it was clear that we needed to redefine how we work as an organization and develop programs that are fit for the times that we're in and fit for the direction that the organization is going. So in comes the systems change engineering certification. Rooted in the fact that our current engineering education doesn't quite address all of the issues and topics and skills that we as EWB believe are necessary to create systems change and impact out in the world. Things like reconciliation, climate resilience, equitable infrastructure and technology access for all. So that's what this program is aiming to change. Recognizing that our bread and butter as an organization is developing systems change leaders and empowering you to be the most effective change makers that you can be, we're developing a program that exposes you to these topics and not only talks to you about them, but gives you a hands-on practical opportunity to put them into practice, addressing an issue of your choosing in your community. We're excited that the inaugural cohort of the Systems Change Engineering Certification is underway as we speak, with first sessions launching this weekend. So looking at the numbers, we have 81 participants across 23 chapters, all of the regions of the country represented, and we have 24 teams, well and above the target of 15 that we'd originally set at the start of the year, taking part in this program. And I'm excited for not only the summer, going through the learning, the fall as we develop out your community impact projects, but Exchange 2027, where the fruits of this program will be on display at Exchange 2027 as we give each of these teams the opportunity to share the projects that they've been working on and their learnings and get that cross-country, cross-chapter collaboration. And special thank you to the RBC Foundation, who last August gave us that injection of cash that we needed to make this idea become a reality. And so for us as an organization, for everyone participating in this program, it's through the support of the RBC Foundation that this has become possible. The Global Innovation Fellowship, recognizing that we are a global development organization. We care about issues not only relevant to us here in Canada, but issues relevant around the world for the underserved communities who lack access to the infrastructure and technology that is needed to thrive. Recognizing as well that partnership is at the root of any impact and change that we want to make, the Global Innovation Fellowship takes students and chapter members here in Canada, pairs them with students in Zambia, and takes them through a 4-month innovation journey centered around cross-cultural collaboration around a shared development challenge. This genuine partnership in action. This year, the focus is on rural energy access, again, in line with our Flip the Switch campaign and in line with our Engineering Brighter Tomorrows program. And in very exciting news, as a step towards opportunities to engage globally, the winning teams, the top teams from this program, will have the opportunity to travel, bringing the Zambian fellows over here to Canada for Exchange 2027 to share their learnings and their projects, and giving the Canadian team an opportunity to travel to Zambia next summer to continue to collaborate with their teammates and turn their ideas and solutions into real life. So by the numbers, we have 30 fellows this year broken up into 5 teams, 15 fellows in Zambia from the University of Lusaka and University of Zambia, and 15 fellows here in Canada, each representing a chapter at the U of A, TMU, UBC, University of Laval, and SFU. Each team of 6 is made up of 3 Zambians and 3 Canadians. And over the next 4 months, they'll be going through an innovation journey of understanding the challenge that is rural energy access in Zambia and developing innovative solutions rooted in local context and partnership. So we're excited to see the results of these programs again at Exchange 2027. EWB is now entering 2026 with renewed energy, with renewed momentum, a strong community, and a clear direction. And I want you to all be aware, folks in the room and online, that none of this, none of the programs that we've talked about, none of the impact from the last year is possible without your engagement, without you being here, showing up for this organization, showing up for the mission, vision, and values that we care about, and promoting the values that we have as an organization within your chapters, within your communities, within your cities, across the country, and now more around the world. And so as we move forward as an organization, as we continue to build this organization to realize the impact that we know is possible, we remain grounded in our identity. We remain grounded in an organization that is engineering an equitable and sustainable world for underserved communities. We remain grounded in our mission to invest in people as systems change leaders and to mobilize the engineering community to tackle global development challenges, recognizing the role and the power that engineers have to create an impact in the world. And we remain grounded in our identity, a community of not only engineers, but technologists, changemakers, advocates, entrepreneurs, anyone who believes in the transformative power that engineering and technology have to create a better world. We're rooted in our values forever and always, striving for humility, investing in people, courageously committing, asking the tough questions, dreaming big, working hard, and addressing the root causes for impact. These have been for 2.5 decades and will continue to be the heart and the guiding path for how we work as an organization. And harking back to what I'd said at Gala at AGM, remember that we are EWB. We are engineering systemic change. We are building an equitable, sustainable world, and we won't stop until it's done. I am truly honored to be here leading this organization that all of you are helping drive forward. And I'm so excited for the year that we have up ahead, the summer of programs that we have, the engagement and activities that we'll have coming into the fall as our chapters kickstart their activities, and gathering our community again at Exchange 2027.